I am the type of person that takes on the weight of the world for other people, and I take on their problems and I take on their pain, and I don't necessarily address my own. I've been going through a lot of turmoil internally that I didn't know I was, and I didn't know a lot was building up for me. And Monday night was my breaking point. There's a lot of stuff going on outside of the business, and one of the main things is my family. I've got a lot of stuff going on with them. I've got a wedding I'm planning. We might be moving in the beginning of the month. The business is not going the way that I want it to right now for me personally. So I have that going on. And then on top of that, I just got my final exam done today, right? So I took my last prereq to get into the nursing program. And halfway through this semester, I realized I could give a shit less if I went back to the nursing program. And it has been really tough for me to find that out. My gut is 1,000% telling me to not go back to school, pay the money to continue doing this, to not put a halt to everything I've been working for. And I have no idea. I'm so scared to tell my family, because I'm actually scared they're not even going to help pay for the wedding if I tell them that. And I don't know what I would do financially if they didn't. So that's been weighing on me, and just this class in general was, because it's really freaking hard. So Cody asked me, what's going on? He said, what's wrong with you? Like, you haven't said a word tonight. And we hang out all the time. Like, he's my best friend. So we were just playing pool, shooting pool. And I was like, and I broke I'm like a psycho. I just like started crying. And he was like telling me advice that he had for my business, because he's very successful in what he does. He runs one of the top stores for his company in the nation. And I didn't want to hear it. And he said, so, we kind of went through some tips and tricks and whatever. I cried for like the next 3 hours, and I was in our bedroom bawling my eyes out. And he came in and got on his knees and just grabbed me. And he was like, are you not supposed, like, do you not want to do this? Is this not what you want to do anymore? And I was like, no, I'm frustrated because I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I said, I feel it in my bones that I just like finally found something that I can really hit all my passions with. And I said, I truly just feel like this is my thing and I got to stay with it. And I said, with each passing month, no matter if I have hit the rank I planned on or if my paycheck is the same, I feel it more every single month that I'm supposed to be in it. And I don't know any other job that you can actually either not make a paycheck or you don't have the results that you want right away and you actually want it more than ever, continually. And I feel it deep within my bones. And he said, okay, well then why don't you just show up as you? And I was like, excuse me? And he said, well, he's like, people love you. And he's like, you're a magnet to people in life. And he's like, I've never seen anyone that can walk into a room and just like have that energy. And he said, you have it, but when it comes to your business, you're forcing things. And he's like, I don't watch a ton of stuff, but I can feel it when you're not you, and people know that. And I mean, I was like, are you watching our videos? You creep, like, what the and I was like, I think you're right. And I was like, I feel that sometimes. I feel it. And so, really, if I can't take the criticism from my fiance, why would God think that I could move up to the next rank? Like, if I can't even listen to the person that loves me and sees me and knows who I am, what would make God be like, yeah, you definitely can take on more leaders and more customers and more social media shenanigans that happens because people are wild. But I was like, that makes sense. It kind of clicked for me of like, that makes total sense. And if I can't juggle this class and do this, how am I going to be a mom and do this? Because that's the goal, right? Is to like be able to be with my kids. But if I can't even juggle one class, how am I going to juggle being a mom and doing this? So I'm sitting there like just making all these realizations. And the biggest one that I had was my checklist. And I was like, how much am I really putting into this? Because I've got a massive thing and I make sure all those, you know, checks are marked off. But like, am I intentionally doing stuff for my business? Like, is it a surface relationship with my IPAs? Because, you know, I have surface relationships with people all the time where I can send them like an emoji and an exclamation and get them on the way. I don't really want to talk to them. But it's the type of relationship where you need to be best friends. You need to be married to this business. Like, you need to be invested. And I would rather get one check mark done and fully dive into that IPA completely than to just BS it, to send it off and say I got it done. Like, even with gratitude, there are some mornings where I would have rather just stuck with one thing that I was thankful for instead of doing 10 that I half-assed. And I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I'm pretty thankful for all this. Like, so I just had to check myself and be like, Jordan, is this a surface relationship? And are you sending it off just to say you're done? Because I'm a psycho. If y'all looked at my planner, it looks like I should be in a psych ward with all the scribbles and highlights and circles. And like, it's freaking crazy. So I was like, am I doing this for my business or a check mark? Right. And I have really, really big plans, and I just have to take it one step at a time. And the next day, I literally changed how it felt. So if I felt I was taking too long on a post, I literally either X-nayed that post or I just sent it off the way it was instead of sitting there, because I will get caught in a freaking, not even just editing, but just making a story. And I'm like, wow, has it been a half an hour? That's what I wasted my time on? Are you serious? Is it even that cool? No, nobody cares. So I was like, you know, I X-nayed that. What else? I don't know. I just made intentional decisions that didn't feel the same way I have been feeling for months. When I post about something, you know what happened? I got 3 people in my inbox. 3. From not hearing anything to literally a day change. And it was like 3 people were already in my inbox. I went to my life group. So my church has life groups and we're a part of one, and we had our Christmas party, and I was making roast beef sandwiches and just like cooking for everybody. And literally 3 of the women came up and they were talking about like my stories. I have no idea what got us on the subject. And they were like, Jordan, you're so much fun to watch. We love your stories. And they were like, you're so relatable. And I was like, I literally bing, 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 like freaking, they don't know that buzzers are going off in my head, but I'm like, this is what we talk about on our stuff. This is what we talk about on our trainings. That's what people want. They want relatable content, and it makes them feel, and my life group's pretty nerdy. And they're pretty nerdy. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. And like, it just made me so happy to hear that from them. And, so when I say like, don't show up to impress anyone, like don't feel as though, even with our leaders, like don't do the IPA and send it off to like make a leader happy or something. Like, they're not happy with a checklist. They're happy if you're running your business and you're creating financial freedom and you're getting it out there and you're making it your thing. And, you know, like our IPA chats are meant to be professional. Like, this is our job. And our December one, like I want us all to keep each other in check, that it's something positive, because that's what those are for. They're for the dedication and they're for the mindset changes. They're not like a boo-hoo chat, right? Like, and I mean, I'll call myself out on this all the time. I would never say it unless I've done it myself and like had to check myself. But like, keep each other going, keep your fire going in a really, really good way. My mom I have a very strange relationship with this woman, but she's also a little, my mom's side of the family's a little cuckoo. So she actually ignores me when I talk about the business. So she'll call me and she'll be like, how you doing? And I'll be like, I tripled my promoters. Like, cause in the beginning of November, I tripled my promoters in a day. And I was freaking stoked. And I was like, here's the ball. We're getting it rolling. Let's freaking go. They all ghosted me. But anyways, the point is that she'll ignore me. It's like the weirdest thing on the phone. It's freaking awkward as hell. She's like willing to pay money and give me gifts in that way, and like very strange things, but then like no support, right? So I just kind of gave her grace, and I've prayed about it, and I've done gratitude for it. And little by little, she was like, hey, can you send me skin samples for Christmas? I'm going to do it as like a secret Santa gift, like that little Thrive skin sample pack that we have. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So like I transferred credits to her and I sent it off, right? And then the next thing I know, she's like, how is your hair so thick? What are you doing for it? And I was like, well, that's stuff that I'm taking. And I was like, it's our peptide gel. Like, it's literally a collagen formula that is meant to, and she's like, oh, you're actually like ingesting something. It's not what you're putting in it. And I said, yep. And I left it at that. I did not go any further. And then the next thing, she calls me and she's like, what are you doing for your energy? Mind you, she has all this at her house. She's got 2 months worth stocked up. I don't know what's going on. But I was just like, oh, I was like, it's my 3 steps. Like, this is what I do, right? Like, this is what I do. Because she's like, I see your blue capsules all the time. But y'all, you have to realize I've taken those blue capsules for 7 months. It took her 7 months. She's my mother. She birthed me. Okay. Like, this woman took 7 months to ask me about our blue capsules. So it's because, and I want you to know that the results will literally sell themselves. The products sell themselves. The results sell themselves. You just have to be dedicated to doing it and to the back end and to intentionally doing those IPAs. And that was my biggest thing, is like, I was like, Jordan, you're kind of just repping stuff out because I love crossing stuff off my to-do list. I just do. It does release dopamine, by the way. Fun science fact. Fun Fact Friday. Everybody should join that, by the way, on my Instagram. But we literally just check stuff off and we release a happy hormone in our brain. And so I was like, I'm not happy doing this because it doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I got anywhere. I feel like I spent 8 hours on my phone today and got freaking nowhere. And the second I changed it, I think I spent maybe 2 hours on my phone that day, more people in my inbox than ever, felt better than ever, and got to disconnect and go enjoy my night. So it was wild, but I'm telling you guys, really check yourself and make sure that your surface relationship becomes a marriage and an intentional relationship. But that was all. I mean, like, it was just, Monday was rough. It's been a rough little stretch, but I wanted to share that with you guys. So you can take it away, Shay.
Thank you. That was so awesome. Do you mind muting yourself?
Yes.
Or I can, I guess. You just make me giggle so much. I can't help it. But I love that. That's what I love so much about you. And I think anybody who knows you can say that. Like, you're so unique and you don't shy away from being yourself. And that becomes so attractive, and people want to follow you. They want to watch you. They want to be involved in your life. And this goes back to like a training I did not too long ago about your content. And, I always constantly think, okay, what can I share with the group? What has helped me? Because I look at my story, and maybe I didn't go as fast as some, but I do believe that like God has blessed me in my team and my tribe. And there has been quite the momentum ever since I began. And I always want to know, okay, what did I do differently? Or what could I, impart on you guys that would help you, that would motivate you, that would, do something for your business. And my thing is, I say it since the beginning, is I just remained me. I had been in network marketing before, and it was copy paste, do all this, do this checklist every single day, and you will be successful. And I was not. And I literally felt so uncomfortable. I felt forced. I felt like not natural. And it was not worth it to me. Like, my anxiety every day with like, okay, I got to put, 6 posts up, or I have to do this, or I have to message all these people. And I didn't want to message people, to ask them to do something for me. Like that's, I know a lot of us are just like, that's so uncomfortable, right? Like if I don't even know you, especially. But when I started this business, my pledge to myself was I was going to be me. And I wasn't going to change any of that to kind of fit a mold of a business. You know what I'm saying? Sure, I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn. I wanted to be able to, develop and be disciplined and learn all kinds of different things with growing my network and growing my brand and doing all this kinds of stuff. But I wanted to remain me because that's what I knew. And that's what I wanted people to feel like when they saw me on my page. I didn't want them to feel that I was a sales ad, like that I was always pitching to them, and that like that was me. That's all I had to offer. And when I became a mom, I had this kind of light bulb moment come on. And I say this all the time, where it's like, I kind of went through this season where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a mom. Like, I'm just a mom. And I don't say that to be negative in any way. Like, I feel like being a mom is like the highest calling. But in a little bit of that part, I became kind of like, I'm only a mom. And that's where it's almost like in this business. Like sometimes you guys come in and you're like, I'm only a business person now. I'm only a network marketer, and all these other things don't matter. And that's where that disconnect is, because all those other things matter even more, and they're going to build your business even more. So when I came into this, often a lot of times when you come to me, you're like, what did you do when you started your VIPs? I didn't even try the dang product. I signed as a promoter. I said, I'm going in, I'm doing this, I'm going big, I'm going bold. I got on a live before my products ever even arrived. And I did a live because I was like, I am not holding anything back. I am not covering anything. I want people to see that I'm scared to freaking death. I want people to know that like I'm being honest and truthful, and I want them to see my passion. I want them to know why I'm doing this. And from day one, that's how I started my business. That's how I continue to go. And sometimes, guys, it is easier for someone to tell you exactly what to do than for you to grow as an individual. It is easier for you to check off the list instead of just being you and really learning yourself and really putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and being authentic and literally getting to know yourself. It's so much easier for someone to tell you, hey, make sure you post about this, make sure you get this in, make sure you did that, did you follow up, did you do this? And as much as we love that checklist is designed to create discipline. You need discipline. Em says this all the time. Motivation is a fleeting feeling. Like it only lasts for so long. You cannot hold on to it. So you need that discipline. You need that consistency. And that's why in our IPA chats, at least in Jess and I's, like we'll post IPAs maybe once or twice, but throughout the week, you got that, right? Like you don't need that actual thing to be posted every 5 seconds because you are learning it. It becomes a normal thing. And then you add in those other stuff, and that's where you really start to build and grow. So my thing is to challenge you to figure out you, right? And to be you. There's no one else like you. That's enough in itself. So if you are constantly saying, okay, I'm doing everything I'm told, I'm posting all this time, I'm following up, and I'm sending, things to this and that, and I'm doing all that, and then you're running your wheels like this, but then you're like, and I'm still not making any difference. It's because you've disconnected with your audience. And it doesn't matter how many times you post. It doesn't matter how many times you send someone an emoji or say, oh, that looks pretty, or whatever it is. If you are not being you, people are going to turn you off because you're no different, right? You're not set apart. You're not unique. You're not bringing anything to the table. And something that I love to do is watch people on Instagram who are extremely successful with connections, with communicating, with building their brand and things like that. And I shared this before, like how I went on and I realized that they were always adding value, but they were doing it from a personal point of view, right? Now, a lot of times these people are like bloggers and they are selling a product just like we are. But some way, somehow, they're doing it in such a wonderful way that people don't feel like they're being sold to. You get what I'm saying? They feel like, I have to have that. Like, listen to how she's talking about it. Listen to how she's sharing her experience with it. She's given me all these like valuable things that I could be doing with that. That would be so helpful for me, or I can relate to her on that. I would love my hair to look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see all these launch girls and you're like watching their videos and this and that. And the next thing you know, you're buying the product. And it's because they sold you on it by doing it themselves, by sharing their selves, by sharing how they do this stuff. And, you know, that's what they do. So why can't we do that? Why can't we be successful that way? Why can't we share what these incredible products do for us? Being health and wellness and bringing life to someone, helping another mama survive, showing that, like this last week, I was up, cleaned my whole house before it was 9:30. And like, that's how I showed my 3 steps. I didn't do just capsules and this and that. And sometimes I do, but you know what I'm saying? I wanted to bring, this is me, this is my life, and this is why I use these products. This is why you need to use these products. And so what I want you to take from this today is going back to you, learning more about you. If you're still hitting that roadblock, it's time to get to know you. And like even Jordan said, like she had to have that moment with herself where it's like, okay, am I being me, or am I just forcing something so that I can get it out there, right? Because if you're finding yourself in that kind of like lull or that block, and I do the same thing. You can ask, Jessica or Em, like sometimes we say, put your phone down, right? Put your phone down, because if you are literally stuck on a post, you don't know what to post, that's not when you post. You need to put your phone down, go do something, go find something to do, go find something to create your content with, and use that to grow those relationships. And when you grow a relationship, you grow trust. That's the number one thing. When you can build trust with one another, that doesn't even matter what you say. They believe you, right? They trust me in the process. And that's what this is about. Getting to know yourself so that you can put yourself out there to build that relationship that will ultimately build that trust that will bring you those people. And sometimes it takes a long time. Other times people are just waiting for you to make that move. They want to see that difference in you. And that is like one of the main things that people said to me in the beginning. Whoa, you're changed. Like something's different. You are like way out there. You're bold. You're funny. You're momming it. You are like doing the dang thing. And like, what the heck is it? Right. And that's just because like I didn't have time for bull, right? I didn't have time to pretend. I don't have time to be fake. I need to just be me. I need to show you who I am. I need you to know why I did this, why it's valuable for you too. And I need you to trust me in this. And I will be here regardless. So that's where you're going to build that. And that's when people are going to be like, wait, okay, what she's doing like actually looks like it's changing her as a person. Like everything is different. The way she talks, the way she shares her stories, how confident she is. Guys, that's how it should be. We are literally, there's no reason for us not to be confident. We have like the most amazing product. We have the most amazing compensation plan. But on top of that, we have the most amazing tribe. So there is no reason to feel like you are spamming people or you feel salesy or anything like that. No, you should feel the opposite, that you are not sharing enough. Your story, your journey, your passion, your love, all of it. It needs to be put out there. And really, honestly, that's all I wanted to say tonight, is that when you find that moment and you get to that moment where that light bulb goes on and you're like, I am fearless. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to show the world what I'm made of. When you have that moment, that's when things switch. That's when things change. That's when the momentum picks up. That's when people want to be a part of what you have. And so don't keep pushing it off. If you haven't had that moment, create a space for that tonight and really try to dig deep on why you haven't felt that way. What's holding you back? What's keeping you? Is it worth it? Is that how you want it to be starting January 2020? Is it worth it to keep pushing it back and not being honest with yourself and being truthful with who you are? Loving yourself, being confident in what you do? That's what you need to have those questions with yourself. Nobody else can force that. Nobody can give you an IPA list for that. That's something you got to take care of on your own. And I hope and I pray that you have that moment now so that you can literally change your whole damn life by the end of this year, because it's so possible. It's so possible. So that's all I really wanted to say. Thank you so much, Jordan, for hopping on and just sharing. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys. And I'm so excited for what's to come. This is not over. Do not count yourself out. Have those hard conversations with yourself and then get to work. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Bye.